Firstly, my apologies that I haven't been streaming the last several days. As you can tell, I'm sick again. I don't think I ever stopped being sick. In fact, my whole family is home ill today. My son has some kind of a stomach thing, and my husband has more of the like congestion and everything. So we keep kind of like trading it around. And so I just can't seem to get rid of it. Every time I think I'm starting to come out of it, I start getting a little bit back into it. So um, it's just one of those things that gonna have to bear with me that that it passes soon enough. But I was determined to come on today so that we could do our second spooky set of housing tours. Um, as it happens, I just couldn't find a lot of Dominion side homes that I felt fit what I was looking for. But we do have one, and that would be Nelia's one that she helped build. I think there's a combination of people that worked on it. And Nelia's in the chat right now, so maybe she can elaborate on who all helped. I don't think it's her plot. I think it's the guildmate's plot. And hey, Bones, welcome to the stream. But I think it was 3 or 4 people that helped put this one in particular together. It was, from what I understand, many weeks of effort towards, excuse me, towards a guild event, or not a guild event, but like it was I think a costume contest. Yeah, she says it was 4 people, and it was one of the officers that dedicated their plot to being the guinea pig and putting all of this concentrated effort. So I'm sure she could be more specific about who built what bits. I think, in fact, there's a thread in the forum where she goes into better detail as far as who did what. But we're going to go ahead and go through a tour today. Oh, wow, August. She says they've been working on it since August. That's a long time. But I can sympathize. I know that when you have something all-encompassing like this, you kind of want to get started ASAP. It's like with the winter build that I already have in mind. Um, Even though winter's still a few months away with the end of the year thing, I know that I'm planning on doing a guild event for that. So I'm already anxious to get started on that build because I don't know how long it's going to take me. Hey, Mario. Anyway, so let's get it started. The reason we started earlier today than normal, normally I don't stream on Wednesdays until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I do know there's supposed to be 2 kinds of maintenance going on today. Somewhere around noon, I think they're going to be having the login maintenance, but then sometime after that, they're going to have an actual where they shut down the realms for about half an hour. Now, because they can say one thing and it might kind of turn into something else due to certain issues, I just figured it would be better if we went ahead and got started early. As well, I'm getting kind of in the need for a nap, so I'm wanting to just kind of make sure I get this done and not renege on it myself. So bear with me if I start hacking away. So anyway, we're here on, let me see if I get the name right, Melkira's Flesh Render's house. And like I said, this was built with the intention that a costume contest would be held here. So there's like a room for the contestants to wait in, I believe. Oh, well, that's good news, Bones. We're talking about the haunted house contest that Carbine is having. There's been a lot of people. In fact, a couple of my guildmates have been working on theirs. I think they're still working on it down to the wire. Um, and Bones says that they've just finished, well, kind of finished getting enough so that they could submit some screenshots. And there was some confusion about that too, because on the official website it just says 3 screenshots, but on the official rules for Europe it says that you're allowed 5. And I submitted just the 3, so I can't add the extra 2, which was unfortunate. And then there's also apparently a little snippet in the rules where you have to submit a specific line in the body of your email, otherwise it's considered invalid, and that freaked me out. So anyway, so essentially with Nilia's help, I'm going to try and remember how this all is set up. But I think the idea is that you start off kind of like in a barn area that doesn't look too friendly. There's spikes and skulls and all sorts of creepiness going on. And when you venture out into the area, I'm not even sure what was used for these steps here. Maybe Nilly can share. But I think there's a little path off to the right where I want to say it's the witch doctor's little hut. Always got to have that bubbling pot of cheese. Yeah, the spice of friendship. Sorry about the bot. The bot's being really mean today. But it looks all, warm and cozy and inviting for just anybody. I think it's funny that you got all these nice creepy urns in the backpack. It's like we just got back from school and dropped our backpack off next to the urns of evil. But lots of nice use of, look at all the trees, all the dead trunks and leafless branches and stuff. These trees that they added for us for Shades Eve are incredibly gory and awesome. I love those trees. I've tried to grab quite a few. It's one of those things that you don't know what you might use it in, how you're going to use it later on. And even though a lot of these things might appear as strictly for Shades Eve purpose, I'm sure there will be ways that we will find to use them in other ways. And so I've been trying to get as many extras as I can. But that's proving you kind of have to draw a line because you don't want to just fill up your entire crate with just spooky stuff, because I know there's winter things coming too. So I've seen like all kinds of protostar signs and snowballs and things like that. So after you visit the witch's hut, I think, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to go down this way or not. Let's just take a look. I really love the outside of the building with all of the eyes. People really have gone nuts with the eyes, for the strain eyes. You think, well, it's just strain, but look at that, how creepy that is. And it's all over. Well, my little short self isn't getting a very good view of this quaint little white picket fence, and then you got this creepy building here. There's a good shot of it with all the eyeballs. Follow the path. What path? I think I've done ventured off the path. Okay, let me get back on the path. Let's see. I think it was the chocolate path. It looks like chocolate. So if someone wants to do like a Candyland for Christmas, find out from Nelia what was used for the path here. That looks just like little like chocolate bonbons. So anyway, then it turns into, I love these Draken walls. The fences actually is what it is, but I call it walls because that's what it looks like to me. But I love how they've got the little skulls already built in, nice and creepy, and it's really rough. It almost feels like alligator. Vendor plants, you think? Huh. I'm gonna have to check that out and see if I can find out which one it is. But it looks just like chocolate. It looks like bonbons of some sort. Those really nice, expensive, liquor-filled chocolates. That's what it looks like. Nice and creepy little path here with all the trees, and they found uses for even the glowing shrooms and the jellyfish plant and all of that. That's not really the name of the plant, by the way. That's just what I call it. Here's a creepy little altar with an effigy in it. And these are some of those new floating rock decor that you can get if you do the, I think it's Alpha Sanctum expedition. Once you complete it, you unlock one of them, and then when you create it or when you've completed it, it unlocks the rest of them from the vendor, which is handy. I wish they would do that with more of the decor. I like how they've added the candles into the. I ended up using like those blinky eyes for some of mine, but the curvature of some of the interior doesn't quite match with the curvature of the, because the eyes are pretty much flat and you can't like bend them, and so they don't work always right. And the haunted effects, I love these things. It took me forever to figure out how to do that as well to get it to haunt up, but it's a really nice little effect. The only thing I still can't stand is how bright green this stuff turns when you can activate. I can't stand that. And I hate that it'll light up half the time, especially with like chairs and, I mean, not chairs, levers and things where you get right close to it. And if you're facing it, it lights up as well, even though you're not trying to touch it. I wish they would give us the option to shut that off. Let's see. I'm just kind of sneak peeking here. I'm probably totally not following the right path, but anyway, like here, I hate that the whole fence lights up when you want to open it, and it won't go away until you like completely through it. But if you get close again, it lights up again. It's like, I don't like that. That's one of the reasons why I haven't bought it. Yeah, as far as the no bones, it does. I just did a little bit of experimenting with it on my own lot. I didn't really want to make it too big though, because it is pretty bright. It's got that really uh, brightness to it, and I didn't want that to overpower everything else. Yeah, well, I've kind of resisted so far. I can't stand the with it lighting up like that. And I think this was supposed to be, I'm trying to remember, I read the little post about it, but I think it's supposed to be like some tailgaters that ended up getting turned into straw. They were, you see how the candle lights up? I don't like that. Anyway, I'll quit fussing about it. But they come out for like to camp and watch, I guess, the lightning show and end up getting turned into straw. And this plant, this is a very cool plant. I've seen a lot of people use this as a water effect to very good look. Love all the trees, rooty trees, thorny clumps. It's a good chance to use some of that, like the brown and probably plant combinations that you wouldn't normally think about doing. A lot of that has to do with the coloring, the sky option that you pick, whether or not the colors clash too much. But just like the dirt, I believe it's the Far Side version, I think. I've seen a lot of people use that for their. I went grassy with mine. I chose Celestion's option, so it's very grassy. But I think most of the people, when they're doing their graveyards, they choose the far side option because it's gray, it's drab and gloomy looking, and it fits a lot of the like the stone and everything. So here we have a little enclosed graveyard, and what interests me most is how, you know, while we're limited on the actual gravestones that they've given us to decorate with, we just get the two, the Dominion version and the Exile version. Folks have found other things to use in place of that, or have been able to expand upon those particular things to get different looks. Like here you have using the crowded graves rather than blowing them up like most people do. This one's been shrunk down and used kind of like as a more elaborate headstone with a little dedication picture and an urn and everything. I like those kind of little deals. Excuse me. Same way with here. I like how it almost looks like it's just kind of hanging on the urn. And these gourds, these are awesome. I love those things. It was very nice of Carbine to grant us some freebie sets. Yeah, mine's not really a jungle kind of theme, Bones, but it just, I felt it fit better for my particular. I wanted mine to be kind of overgrown, like it hadn't really, you know, there's a caretaker hut there, but he's like kind of neglected his duties and everything's kind of overgrown. So I've found my way to the little town. I love the way this is set up. You got this creepy little center fountain, and I always am fascinated with people using the floors in decorative manners like this, just finding different shapes. Every time I see one, it's always different. I like the combination. I mean, there's the Draken floors and I think it's the Granite floors, and then multiple ones, you know, to make stairs, kind of step bits. See, look at that. It's like 3 pieces there. I like that. And then using these awkward, I think it's the Draken lamps. Usually you like stick them on the wall and they kind of look, but they look good as little lamp posts here in combo with the Draken pillars. Also a good use of the fancy bars, using it as extra decoration around the main fountain. And they did like I did. I put some fire in the top of mine, like their rear ends are caught on fire. But you know, they look like they're in agony, so you gotta give them a reason to be in agony. Your gardeners got turned into straw dummies. Well, so sad for them. I'm not sure. I guess this is supposed to be like an abandoned shop cart, and it's got like the little grasping weeds going through it. I don't know if I'm supposed to come back here, but I'm sneaking a peek anyway. Yeah, I'm one of those that I venture off the path. Shame on me. Anyway, I love the faux town. This is one of those good examples of if you're looking for ways to set up different kinds of doors, coming to a place like this is very helpful because you see how they've treated it, added in a handle, the framework, and the door itself, and using in particular these, I think it's the metal wall dividers, having that, even though it's not considered a light, it looks lit up and it gives the building a little bit of life, even though you actually can't go into it. I like how they've changed the middle one so it's not completely, it gives a little bit of difference just to kind of help stand it out, even though it's virtually the same, not completely cookie cutter. I like that too. Looks like this one's missing a path though. Maybe his yard just got overgrown with the dirt. Same way with this one on this side. It's also a faux building. But again, notice they've alternated it. Over here, it's, I guess it's the Draken floors on either side, and then this one, it's just the middle one. They've alternated it. And that's a clever way of having the sameness, but mixing it up enough where it doesn't look the same. Similar, but not the same. I like that. Yeah, Sim did a really good job then. Speaking of which, I guess we'll go in this building before I get carried away and forget to go in here. So I don't know if this is this the church or is this, no, I think that's the church over there. I'm not sure. It looks kind of churchy with the altar and the pews though. I think this is the shade altar where you come and worship the shade. Give him offerings of intestines and fruit. What a nice combination. Ugh. Okay, so Nilly confirms this is the church. This is, I guess, a good example of that, scaling that up a bit. Kind of freaky looking. It's very bright. Of course, it's already bright because these ritual candle circles are really bright. But it just kind of, with the dark sky and everything, it kind of really emphasizes the focus. I know that's why a lot of people like dark plots. To be honest, I personally hate to use dark plots because typically there's just not enough lighting to go around to shine a light on everything you want. And then if you end up shining it on everything, then it's kind of negates the point of having a dark plot. And I've never really been good at kind of like focusing in on certain things, but for something like this is a very bold effect. You know, you have this really dark, creepy town, and then there's this like really bright kind of altar thing. I like the little book stand. It's just a boop right there. A little tall for me. I have to like hop on it to read it. And hey, Maddie, welcome to the show. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. This one, I'm not sure what this one is. Seems like I love the crookedness of it. It really reminds me of like Beetlejuice. Yeah, I love all of the combination of these things, but I particularly like the crookedness of this one. I really don't know why, but I think it's because it reminds me of Beetlejuice because they had that kind of like the fireplace we saw, I think it was last week, where it was all kind of slanted. Okay, Nelly says this is the town hall. I guess this is where the leader sits and issues out, you know, punishments and stuff for those that didn't collect enough candy or something. I don't know. I'm sure it's not that. But I like the boldness of it. I'm not sure. I think that's a shelf on top, and there's a floating window there. Not positive about that. I know there's supposed to be a moon. Yeah, there it is. There's a moon there. Can you see it? Without looking at my crazy, oh, for crying out loud. There's the moon with the creepy eyes. Looks like a goth moon with the makeup on and stuff. It's a very creepy thing. I don't know what they encased this plot inside. It seems like they've blocked out the actual sky. Yeah. Yeah, you can almost hear the Danny Elfman music. Or, in fact, I just watched what is it? A Nightmare Before Christmas not long ago. And when I was working on my plot, I was humming that tune while I was building it. Probably drive my family crazy because, okay, again, I'm not even sure if I'm on the right path, but I'm finding little new things, so I'm investigating. I want to say this is let's see. I know there's supposed to be, I think this is the caretaker, the gravekeeper dude. Looks like it. I know there's supposed to be a serial killer's place, but I don't see the knives here, so this isn't his. Which one is that? Yeah, the gravekeeper's home. See, I kind of remember. He's got all those books on, probably embalming steps and taking care of all the creepiness that comes with watching over the graves and the people that go in it. Let's see. Here's a nice creepy shrine. Now, I think this part here is the bottom of one of the crowded graves. If I remember right, it's got that strange little patterned design on the bottom. Nice big candle thing and all of these creepy sucker plants. They remind me of the Little Shop of Horrors, where you gotta feed Seymour. That one's kind of floating above the ground. Me. I love all these little bits. Getting to pack in all of this extra detail in here is not the easiest of things. Okay, now I'm wondering I'm sure I missed something. I may have to have find a map or something. Where am I? I like the cobweb across the gate as well. I bought a lot of cobwebs and I ended up not using all of them. Shame on me. Who's manning the taco stand there? Is that a shadow mauler? It looks like it. I don't know what that thing's supposed to be. I like again, the cobwebs all over that. I probably should have used more. Oh, okay, so here's another little creepy pumpkin patch. This must be where the killer lives. Yeah. Yeah, this is the serial killer's house, where he collects all his trophies, and he doesn't like that guy in the picture. Look at his collection though. He's like, what one do I feel like using today? I think it'll be this one. Pick it up and go hunting. Pretty gross. Creepy, creepy. I'm sure some folks are going to really find some interesting ways to use the animation on these new target. They used to be the straw. They still have the regular straw one, but it's not an actual target that you can like hit and everything. But these for like the, I guess it's what people talk about parsing or something. They test their LAS on it. I love the animation on this. I'm sure a lot of people are going to find some clever ways of tucking those in and using it interestingly. Love the pumpkin patch. See, I didn't give mine any grass. I probably should have, but I kind of didn't want to hide some of the pumpkins because I'll explain later why, but again, I love that animation. And I envy the square hay. I've never gotten a hold of one of those. Okay, so from what I remember, this was where the guests sat. So they have all their little pumpkin seats. And see, this is a good example of how the lighting changes the color of some. These are actually bright yellow chairs, but here they pretty much look orange, just like the pumpkins. So that's a good choice of seating there. Excuse me. And I believe these are the judges' seats, I think. A little dangerous looking with the lightning coming down. So yeah, Patience did the pumpkin seating, and Nilly and Sim did the judges' seat. So yeah, I'm right. It looks like the judges is like being punished. You must judge, Zap. And I guess those that were in their costumes would come and stand up here. I assume. I didn't watch the video of the stream or anything, so I'm just guessing. But I imagine they come up here and everybody got to, because it looks like all the seats are kind of facing this. This is where they, did their posing and stuff. I'm not sure what this little thing is for. Maybe where they stood and kind of did the catwalk kind of thing coming out. Again, just look at the creepiness of the buildings, how they're all arranged without getting blinded by the lightning. And all those eyes, it looks even pretty cool from this side without the eyes. I usually just use them as like spilt drinks kind of thing. Yeah, Franken judges. They've been zapped. Now, the green room that Millie was talking about, I believe is in here, yeah. Now, I will not admit how many times I kept trying to go through the glass wall here because I was wanting to go take a look at all the stuff in the back. But it was a lot. I kept trying. I think I spent a little time in here thinking, well, maybe there's a little gap where I can sneak in there, but no. But they made a nice little scene here. You've got like eggs clustered on the crypts, and you got that weird thingy in the back, and glowy bits and strange plants. I really like that. But this is apparently where contestants would come and wait for them to be called on. I like how they built in the little seats here. Not that I sit on them properly, but the idea is there. I wish they would come up with some new colored pillows. I'm so tired of the 201s. And it's nothing against Nilly and the gang. It's just personally, we use them so much for so much of our couches and benches and chairs, and they look fantastic, but I'd really love some variety. Now, even if they just recolored it, I would be happy. You know what I mean? Just recolor it a little bit. Give us some white ones and, some basic primary colors. That would be fantastic. If they could allow us to paint our own furniture like we do with our gear, that would be awesome. I would love that. So, did I catch everything, Nilly? Because I don't want to miss anything. I feel like I'm missing something. Did I miss that? No, that's the gravekeeper's place. Like a maze of pumpkins. Okay, fantastic. It has been confirmed. I have found all the goodies. I'm just looking at little details. I like checking out how people put things together. Just another good kind of overall shot, sort of. I mean, look, there's even like, it looks like a bell inside there, inside I think that's the church. Kind of hard to see all of that from down here, especially as a chewer. You don't have a very good range of looking at things, but it's just a phenomenal effort, I have to say. A lot of work went into it. A lot of work and love and blood and sweat and tears, I'm sure. I mean, considering you guys started in August on this, and I know for a fact a lot of this decor didn't become available until just like a week or so before. So that was probably a rush and headache trying to get that all in as well, kind of finish it off. but it was well worth the effort, I think. Okay, so for the rest of them, we're going to switch to, let's see, where's my list? I got too many lists here. We're going to switch to exile side. Maybe. There we go. Got my handy dandy carrot. Yeah, I can imagine, because as soon as all that stuff hopped on to be available, I'm sure everybody's like, oh, I must have all of these trees and all this other junk. We're going to save mine for last. I'm more impressed with other people's stuff myself. So let's see. We'll just go to the first one on the list, which is Fisty McFist. No offense, but some people's choice of names highly amuse me on why they pick certain ones over others. But this is the Roselawn Manor by Fisty McFist, as you can see there. Again, now I don't have my sound turned up, so I have no idea what choice of music folks are using for theirs. For me, I ended up going, I think, with just the cave sounds, because I just couldn't find any music that I felt suited it the best. So I just went with ambient noise. You know which one that was on the plot that we just visited? Like I said, I had my sound turned down, so I have no idea. But I love the pathway here, the stones. You know, I've been using the makeshift, in fact, I did that on my current plot. I used the makeshift billboards. I probably would have been better if I'd used these, but I just had so many of them on hand. I often use repeats of materials so that I don't have to buy new stuff all the time. But this really does work really well. That's kind of creepy with the double sword ladies there. That's a nice bold entrance. Pardon me. Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly, Bones. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? But, you know, I have to admit, there are some places that I purposely avoid because I don't want to have to be forced to say it on the air, you know, say, bungle bottom booby boob, you know, that kind of thing. It just feels silly. And like I feel embarrassed for like the devs when they have to reply to somebody on the forum and they got this really goofy name. I'm thinking, you know, wow, how sad. Apparently I haven't done my trick-or-treating. Let me just do that while I'm here. Yay, I did a trick-or-treat. Anyway, I'm not sure what all's in here, so I'm just gonna kind of walk around and see what I see. So I've discovered a cave. They've really gone out with a lot of pumpkin containers. The sad thing about those, the last time I asked about them, they're going to keep those little icons about them even after the event goes bye-bye. So I was disappointed with that because I thought, well, it might be fun to use those later for other things. You know, like maybe inset them in other bowls and have different kinds of food because, you know, they have different colorings. You know, that could be like some kind of salad or whatever. But if it's going to keep that icon over it, that's just kind of going to ruin it. So I don't know. I may grab one of each just before the event closes, just in case they decide to remove them. But according to what one dev told me, that it would stay. So that's unfortunate. And I love this new decor, the bag of pearls. So it looks like we found some kind of a camp inside this cave. As per usual, I just kind of investigate the outside first. See, there's those blinky eyes. Those are fun. And then we kind of work our way inward. Okay, they're all pointing their guns in here, so what's in here? I must investigate. Uh-oh. Ooh, there's a creepy maw that's sucked into a mouth of something. Like finding all the hidden pumpkins, I guess. A maze of thorns. Oh no. How did I get out? How did I get out? Okay, I think I got out somewhere else. Found some treasure though. Ooh, treasure. I wonder what they used to cover up that dark. What does that look like? I'm not sure what that is. Is that how it always looked? I thought it was just a black kind of yuck. I don't know. Looks pretty good though. Let's see. Let me try and find my way back out. Get lost in the thicket here. Yeah, I'm forever stuck in here, folks. I probably should have never went in, but I did. Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay, so more pumpkins. I see a big house. Almost has a castle feel to it because it's got the two little domey things on either side. So let's check this out. Open for me. I like that. That's pretty nice. Big and bold. Pardon me. Let's check out the bottom floor first. Looks like we stumbled up on some kind of a lab with all kinds of weird experiments going on. It looks like it has a ship in a bottle there with an eyeball, and then they're kind of attached, strangely. There's a banana and a piece of meat. I don't know. Some weird combinations going on. I have to wonder if the noise here is pretty loud. I don't know. Yeah, because I think that's one of those excavators. That's why it's moving. That'd be pretty loud. This almost looks like a video game to me. Okay, what's on this side? The sign kind of implies it's a bar, so let's see if that's what it is. Looks to be. I hear a lop. So it's the smoking corner here. Oh, look at it. Isn't it cute? I love these NPCs. This is such a great addition. Folks have really found good uses for them. I myself have been kind of stingy about spending money for them. And the same way, you know, I'm not just talking real money, I'm talking game money as well. So I've only gotten a few because I wait till I can snatch them when they're fairly cheap. Because I know I want lots of them, so I kind of just bide my time. But I love the little, you know, some of them are like tinkering with things, and then others are, you know, chit-chatting, and I like that. It just helps to bring your plot to life. I like the little grandfather clock here. I've seen other versions, but this one's a nice, simple one. It works well. It's just a combination of the clock and then the empty trophy cabinet. Very nice idea. Okay, upstairs we go. See if we can get another good shot. Kind of hard to get a good shot from there. What do we got here? Looks like a bedroom of somebody. Lop's having some intestines for dinner. That's pretty gross. What is the bottom of this thing? It's the bottom of something, but that's pretty interesting. I like the shape. It looks like a heart, almost. I guess it's something from down below and they've just decided to use it as a table, is my guess. I don't know. But I think that's interesting. A little makeshift bed with some the rugs and the mattress. I think that's one of those new Gothic pillars. And then a couple of the little sneeze coming on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe I'll take another look at what's poking through down below, because I imagine that's something showing from below. Sometimes that's how you figure out ways of things using it differently. You go to put it in and then you got something poking out and you go, well, how can I use that? So here we go. The little blinking eyes in the book. I like that idea. Lots of little nooks and crannies, and I kind of found interesting ways. But I really like the little peeking eyes. That's kind of creepy. You just put that idea in the bank for next year. Okay, so let me go back downstairs and see if we can figure out what that was, because I'm curious, seriously. Yeah, see, I imagine it's part of this, whatever that is. But for the life of me, I don't know what that is. It looks like a lamp, like a chandelier, maybe. Like maybe the Exiles chandelier or something. Because it's like got that big, you know, it's like super oversized or something. I'll have to forever wonder about it, I guess. Little seating. It's interesting what people use. It's like, look, there's a little generator there. Trying to get a good overall shot. It's hard to find a spot that also looking for the entrance to here. I guess it's where the sword guys are. Ah, the nice green gate. Now I love their approach to the cemetery, and I've done similar effects but in different ways. Excuse me. But they've made theirs look like they're all almost like freshly buried, all these little dirt piles, which is basically just sandbags. And then the little sprite, like wispy effect, is the buoyant blue crystal. I was playing around with that and I planted it on mine, and I'm forever in love with that. I used it in my forest area and everything. I like this one, how it's kind of like a upheaved, uncovered casket, and then it's been overgrown with weeds and stuff. I like that too. And they've even found use for the little tall fingers plant. Again, part of it is the lighting kind of helps change the color. This is a little weird with the head floating out. Pardon me. The eyeballs, that's different. Not too welcoming there. And look, that looks like it's a hand coming out of the grave, getting ready to toot his horn. I didn't even know that had like a hand on that. Oh, creepy is that. Love it, love it, love it. And this is just a fab kit, but it kind of carries over into this little house here. See what we got. Somebody's little... Oh my gosh. Look what they have in the pot. Poor little Grumple. He's like, I'm okay, just chillaxing in the cheese. That's so wrong. Yeah, he's the eye guard. That's that's funny, Bounce. Let's see, did I miss anything over here? Again, I tried to hit everything. I don't want to miss anything. No rusty walls, water tower. Okay. I don't want to go inside that one because that's got the nasty spider. Something over here? No. Something here though. What is it? It's just some candles. Okay, this is a little disturbing. I think this is the first time I've seen this. I guess this having a witch's trial or something where they've been accused. They got like the fuel tank there and these little pyres. That's pretty disturbing. To say the least. They got the bubbling cheese and the log pile and yeah. Burning them at the stake. That's just wrong. And of course over here it's a little camp of somebody. Again, I love these fences here. In fact, I mentioned it to a guildmate of mine and he was like, oh my gosh, that's gonna work just perfect for my cemetery, so he's using them as well. Yeah, the burning pyres, I think that's oops. That's about it for me. Let's see what's over here. Again, I don't want to miss anything. I like those spooky bits, the little brights. We come this way? I don't know. Getting lost in here. I think we've seen everything though. Pardon me. I'm really sorry about the coffee, but I can't help it. The talking doesn't help, but I'm determined to make it through here. Ah, right, the main house. Main house. I don't know what all's in here either. It's just the one room. I love, look at that. All those creepy eyes. The chains. The little ritual thing is, whoops. Apparently I just lost connection there. Hop back to my place. Well. Shall we go back? Let's see if we can go back. I don't know. I got kicked out or something. Or maybe I touched something. Was I hitting something? I don't think so. That was weird. Just got booted. Maybe that's part of the charm of the place to just boot you. So where is that? Notice that they boarded their door up. Like, it's still accessible, but it looks like, kind of like a do not come in here kind of thing. Let's see if I can stay in here this time. But I like all the chains. I noticed in the Quiet Down instance they had a lot of chains with hooks on them. I'm hoping they add those because I'm sure people can find a lot of uses for them. Not just hooks hanging from the chains, but also for like they want like a trailer or something, for pulling a cart behind, or maybe they want to make a Captain Hook pirate character for their pirate ship or something. It's a really good effect with the lighting and stuff. Again, those ritual candles are really bright. You really want to liven up a room and have like a good focal point. That's a great thing. Okay, so I think that's it. Got that creepy creepy vibe to it. Pardon me. So let's move on to the next one, which is Mealy Foxfire. Fingers crossed that it will allow me to visit. I think this one's supposed to be, yeah, a fairground. Now the reason I picked this, it's not necessarily full on haunted related, but I really liked the haunted house part. So most of it are going to focus on that, but I will take you quickly around to their the little bits that they have added. It's a work in progress, so there's a lot of things that haven't been finished yet, but this is some kind of like a obstacle course where people can watch people jump through the hoops and things like that. There is a maze inside this building. I am not going to take you through that because the one time I tried to get through there, I got lost. But you can see they're working on like some kind of a track jumping puzzle kind of thing. I am not good at those. I avoid them like the plague. But her place is listed on the must-see homes list, I think, or is planned to be. So if you're into those kind of things, like the mazes and the jumps, this is a place to go. But I particularly, for today, wanted to show off the haunted house. You can see they've done, gone overboard with the cobwebs and the grasping weeds. They're using the haunted windows. I think both versions, but for sure the haunted one. Lots of Draken types of things. Again, you've got the hologram stuff, kind of creepy. They've even put cobwebs around the table and stuff. There's an eyeball in the bowl, which is kind of gross. The leaning creep tree coming out. And there's the little sucker plants. A gaping maw there. And then you come through the chains of something, and you got this thing that's been chained up, and I don't know, maybe it's like they're protecting against the spirit or something. But it's yeah, the necroblooms. That's the proper name, not the sucky plants. That's what I'm forever gonna call them, the sucky plants. But again, they've placed the cobwebs pardon me, in every room basically. So then you have the little plushy room where there's some of them that are on spikes, like the poor carrot. Makes me a little nervous being in this room. Got one that's got knives all stuck into him. And then you got that creepy thing up here. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, some kind of ghost. And somebody's abandoned desk. And then you've got this room. It's got a weird, well, it's a skull. It's one of the hanging skulls, but it's got a candle inside it, which kind of makes it look like it's supposed to be like a chandelier made out of a skull. This is the kitchen. And I mean, they went through and made like the whole cabinet thing and everything, but it's all, creepy intestines. And I think that's a corpse laying there, which is nasty. Here's the bedroom. I don't know what they used here. It looks like a bunch of those flags, the banners or something, the Dominion banners, to make this weird, strange little thing. But did you see what I did there? It looks like, it's just like a wall painting kind of abstract thing. And no, the hanging skull is actually, I think it's one of the drops from like the rare bosses. Um, Not necessarily the named ones. And I can't remember offhand what zone either. Sorry, Bones. I want to say it's Malgrave, but I'm not sure. Because I've tried to get a hold of some myself, but most of the ones I've gotten have all been from the age. But with it being the rares, and if you go into the lower zones like Malgrave and stuff, they're pretty easy to tackle on your own. But I like how this is set up where, because the chains themselves have no collision, and neither do the banners. So it's a good combination, but it kind of looks like an abstract painting of some sort, but you can actually go through them both and come down into this little creepy dungeon thing. Look at the thinker head. They've changed the eyes. Looks like a witch's face now. And then you got the excuse me, the skull room. I think these are the new Chupacabra skulls that they've lined the wall with, and then the golden skulls, and then the claw totem things, and then one of those nice falcon perches for the bony spine thing. It's a pretty bold little altar area thing. See, there's another one. There's actually two different kinds. There's one with the double skull hanging, and then one just single. There's a hanging lizard. Poor guy. But that's a really nice little way of treating your hidden room kind of thing. Planted pictures is always a good touch. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. I guess that's supposed to be the toilet. I've not come across a square one before, but I guess that works. Just a nice way of kind of finishing it off. And I love the tub. That was a good tub. With the, looks like the Chua cups for the handles. I don't know what the faucet is though. Little closet. Pardon me. So sorry. Okay, so I think, yeah, we went there. I think that's all for the haunted house. Again, they have actually more to their property, but this was the one that I wanted, this is the bit that I wanted to focus on for today. We got one more before mine. I'm actually going to try a couple of others to see if they've opened, because I tried to visit them last week and it wasn't available. I spell it right. Well, it looks like the one that I really wanted to visit is still private. They had said that they would probably be finished this week, but apparently not. So I will probably visit theirs sometime after when they get theirs done. Now it says they don't exist, so I don't know what that is about. So we'll just go to chili beans. All right, you guys enjoy your lunch. Okay, so chili beans is another kind of, I think it's once all of this new decor come out, folks really wanted an opportunity to put them all to use. So some of this is just kind of, this is what they've come up with in just a matter of a week or two. Like this is that new, I think it's the precarious flaming tower It looks like the fab kit, but it's just a decor piece. Just interesting little bits. Again, they're using those rocks. I really probably should have used those myself, but I'm kind of thinking I'm glad I didn't because now everybody seems to be using them that way. But here's a little abandoned home. Got like a little garden on this side. Oh, I guess that's a pool. Didn't notice the water last time I was here. I love the bubble effect this is. The only thing is if you shrink it down to kind of hide the tree, then the bubbles are too small as well. But those will make great aquarium type of plants. That's the spore tree, and then the poison spore bush also has that bubbly effect, which is going to be really nice. So here you have this little house. They've, gone and decorated with the cabinetry, the fridge, but you can clearly see no one's been here for a while. There's the chairs are overturned. There's cobwebs everywhere. Even the door is kind of smashed and askew. Now, I don't know what kind of ground option they took. I want to say it's Daradoon, but I'm not positive. Because it's got that dead grass look and everything. But they're using the usual fab kits of the webbed wood and the graveyard. Cemetery or whatever it's called, I don't remember. And so here they're having some kind of little ritualistic sacrifice of this poor animal that's being repeatedly struck by lightning. Kind of sad in itself. Again, you have to find clever ways of kind of putting together your gravestones because you only have a few to work with. I was hoping they were going to add some more here, but they didn't. So another good use of the eyes, putting it on each little hut here. Got people ready to shoot whatever comes out. A little effigy wagon. Let's see what else we got out here. Now the fab kit for the towering flames, that's a jumping puzzle. I'm horrible at it, so I am not even going to bother demonstrating that. But look at this. Look at the creepy symbol that they got going on there. A lot of effects there. They've found use for the burning tracks, it looks like, and got the Jack Shade Skelly there, and then the ghosty effect. It's a pretty bold thing. So here they've used the little wagon that we get, and they've turned it into like a little, either a tractor or a pickup truck kind of thing. I expected someone to do it like this, so that's nice that we actually see one. And I guess they're here to witness the hanging of the poor little freebot. Look at that. That's so sad. Little dude, what did he do? Yep, it's a gallows. Got the little trap door opening and the little dude dangling on the rope. Disturbing. It's about the only time of year I guess you can get away with that stuff and not feel out of place. Let's see, I'm gonna take, let's see, I don't want to miss anything, but what's this one? Gosh. Lop's ready for execution there. I guess that's supposed to be his blindfold and stuff. There's just a lot of death around here. Here's the protostar. He's just overlooking it going, yep, better him than me, that kind of thing. What else? This is the garden area. They kind of creeped it up. He looks a little out of place. He looks so innocent in all this creepiness. That's suspicious to me. Highly suspicious. Okay, and then you have the main house itself that's being zapped repeatedly. So straight away, the colors are kind of creepy, gross. I love the little sitting nook here. Probably not where you can actually get into it, but the look of it is nice. All kinds of debris on the ground, cobwebs. Eggs and ham, anyone? Spider eggs and ham? Got a fork in his head. Always a good statement. Alright, see you, Bones. I see that's kind of creepy with the bar. Having that ghost effect back there, that's pretty crazy. And the cozy is just kind of nonplussed. Here's like the den. I love the little fireplace here. Aside from the fact that there's a lop sticking inside it, but I like the concept of how it's put together. I want to say the lighting is like the noir. I don't think it's the sepia one. I think it's the noir one. He's 3D movie. He's coming out of the TV. Okay, what else is here? A lot of little rooms to this thing. Okay, there's a diseased little protostar guy. I guess he supposedly committed suicide or something. He's got the gun. There's brain matter or something on the chair, and he's got goo coming out of his head. That's pretty nasty. Okay, so oh, it's just the head. Jack Shade's head. So let's see what's upstairs. Looks like another murder scene. I like how they've labeled the fuel cans with little danger signs. It's like Protostar's just kind of observing a lot of it, what's going on. This one, he's committed suicide as well, apparently, with the rope. Disturbing, to say the least. And then another one by drowning, it looks like. That's just really wrong. And they even took care to have it like it's spilling over. The little miniature waterfall there. And if you're wondering what the tub is, it's just a giant sink, bathroom sink, and sized up. Interesting with all the pipes. So there's one creepy home. If you're looking for, you know, ideas about death and stuff, I guess, this is the place to go. Okay, so that was Chili Bean's House of Horrors. Yeah, Jester, that's exactly right. You know, these little tours is not just meant to show off what people have done, but to give you ideas for later. You know, if you're thinking in the long haul kind of thing, if you feel like you'll be here next year. But yeah, definitely, there's still Christmases around the corner, and that people have already been kind of data mining some of the new items that are coming. It's not just costumes and stuff, but lots of decor that's coming our way. Excuse me, like gift bags and snowballs and a lot of Protostar stuff. So if you're really into Protostar, which I am a big fan of theirs, this next Christmas season is going to be your time because there's a lot of Protostar stuff coming. Okay, for the last one, we're going to just visit my plot. I've already done a video of it. I think it was a silent video though. I really honestly don't remember what I did. And I have posted it in the forums with some screenshots. But for those that are curious about what I used or why I used it, this bit is for you. This plot was specifically made with a guild event in mind. I usually try to hold some things some kind of event for my guild mates. Nothing extravagant, just some goofy games that we can play for an hour or two. I think in all it turned out to be about like 2.5 hours that we spent goofing around on my plot. But since it was Shades Eve, I wanted something kind of fitting for that theme, so I went with a cemetery, and I called it Shadestone Cemetery. So that accounts for the big S on the front of the gate, standing for, of course, Shadestone. This is the first time I've experimented with kind of covering up most of the teleport pad. Basically, it's just some curved walls. I actually had them floating above the little barrier that you get when you start moving objects around. And then I just slowly, carefully dropped them down. And then I capped it with a dome on top. So it makes it look like it's enclosed, but it's really just kind of faked in. Because you can see how I've had to kind of fit in. I couldn't get these Galeras stone walls to go all the way to the corners to meet up. So I ended up having to use part of the round wall to kind of fit that in. Obviously, the shape of it doesn't fit the teleport pad perfectly, so there is some space there. So I suppose if anyone fell off in there, they'd probably get stuck and have to use a little crystal reset button. But anyway, so I kind of wanted it enclosed, but I also wanted to kind of give an idea that it's part of a bigger area. So I decided to go with a thick little forest on either side. And as I mentioned earlier, the buoyant blue crystals, they have that little misty, wispy effect, the little blue and almost purpley kind of effects that you see there. I decided to kind of haunt my woods with those. So there's like 3 or 4 on each side. It's sized up pretty big, but not like overly big. I wanted the wisp to be kind of small, but not too small. I wanted there to be some kind of effect. Then we come into the actual cemetery itself, and straight away you'll notice these little wispy bits of fog or mist or whatever you want to call it. Essentially, that's just a giant cobweb. I've seen others use them even bigger and getting it just to be a kind of an overall kind of effect, but I wanted mine to kind of snake through the cemetery, so I wanted it more defined, so I left it relatively small. It's still pretty big, but to get it to go all the way across. But if you look closely, you can see it, the shape of this is, I think, the droopy one, the shape of the cobweb. Now, like I said, this was built specifically for a guild event, so a lot of the features in it were built with that in mind. So while traditionally maybe a graveyard would have just rows and rows and rows of graves, I have mine kind of secluded into different little sections because of the games we played. But before we get into that, this is the caretaker or the gravekeeper's place. I just decided to give him a couple of those carts. Got a little water well in the back, a little seating area, it's fresh food, and then of course right next door is the pumpkin patch, and this is where one of our games was held. Basically, I hid underneath like 3 or 4 of the pumpkins some stack of plastic coins, and that represented a money prize for whoever uncovered it. And for the others, they just got a random piece of decor. And all of the decor that I gave away for the night was all Shadesy themed. It was spider webs and eyeballs and body parts and corpses and things like that. So whenever I do an event like this, I kind of keep it all the same theme so it makes sense for what they get. But basically, we just had I had my guildmates stand on top of a pumpkin that they chose, and then I would remove the pumpkin and reveal what was underneath, and that's what determines. So it's kind of like a lottery kind of thing. They randomly pick their pumpkin, and then they get some little prize, and then we did that for a few rounds. And then over here we had the musical gravestones. Now I've already removed them, but I used granite chairs for the seating. And basically I just put one at each of the headstones, up to one shy of how many members we actually had present playing the game. So like if we had 10 people present playing, then I would only have 9 seats out. And the idea is we all were on TeamSpeak, so I played music over TeamSpeak, and they would run around the edge of the little enclosure here until the music stopped, and when the music stopped, they had to hurry up and find a seat and sit down on it, and the one that didn't catch a seat and was left standing, they were out of the game, and they would come and stand beside me, and then we'd do another round until we got down to one winner. And the music I played was Monster Mash. I don't know offhand who sings it, but it's a fairly well-known tune, and I thought it was fitting for this. But you can see, again, I had the same problem as a lot of people. We only have the Dominion version and the Exile version of the headstones, so it was tricky finding ways to either make them look different or turn them so they don't, resize them, plant them, just try different things. These pieces here are actually sized up. It's a sized up crowded graves, but it's been sunk down, so it's only these 2 little bobs that are showing. There's actually a third one somewhere in the grass, but you can't really see it. And then I gave this one a bit of a pedestal to sit it on, and that's basically just an upside down box of bolts. I used some of the new blinking eyes on the one owl, and the other owl is just red lanterns stuck in there. If you get up close, you can see the pattern of the lantern almost. It's kind of hard to make out, but it's there. As well, for both this section and the pumpkin section, I hid deep in the ground a orange sconce light. That's why they kind of have an underlight, and especially the pumpkins, you can see they look like they're lit from beneath, and that's because they are. I kind of wanted, without the lights, they look just too dark, especially for the the choice of sky I went with. So I kind of wanted to give them an extra little lighting so that when we played the games that they weren't like squinting and trying to see where everything was. I wanted them to be able to play, but have it still kind of set in a kind of creepy mood. So I figured the underlighting would lend itself well to that. Kind of hard to see over here, but trust me, these wouldn't have their little bright little, you know, you've got a bright and a dark kind of contrast going on, and they wouldn't have that without the light. Over here, it's just traditionally, I think it's called a pergola, but traditionally they're open. They don't have these walls here, but I liked mine enclosed, more for kind of like a private moment to come and reflect on those that you lost and that kind of thing. And this is supposed to be like a water basin, you know, maybe it's holy water that you sprinkle on yourself, but I don't know. Just something different. I wanted an extra little feature that I created myself. So, but as this, and you'll see it in other places like along the fencing, even up top on the walls above. I've planted ivy here and there to kind of help give it that overgrown look. Again, that's why I chose the Celestian ground option because, and I kept the clutter on because I really wanted to look overgrown and unkempt kind of. Use the blinking eyes and the weird little trees. And I've used different types of plants. I really didn't want to go too overboard with the trees and everything because I wanted it to feel open. Because most of the graveyards I've come across have been pretty open. But I wanted to show that there are some trees and things in it, like we have this one big tree in the middle. I didn't want to overdo it. So here we have a little couple with some old-fashioned head markers, crosses. And then here you have one that's been kind of overgrown with white flowers. And here we've got the obelisk, a little haunted. Again, it's the same effect that we used in the forest out front. I've just added some extra bits. You know, I've got the hologram bit here, and he's got a book that you can read about who maybe this represents. It's also got ivy growing all around it and on top of it. Kind of hard to see again because of the lighting, the choice of the dark sky, but it's there, I promise. It's not all over it. I thought about, you know, making it almost kind of like a candy cane effect where it goes wraps all the way around, but then I thought, no, that might be kind of overdoing it. So just like with the one headstone over here, these are just doubled up boxes of bolts used as little casket tops. And this one has got a gear trophy sticking out just to kind of give it something a little different. That means, you know, this one's something special about this one that makes it stand out from the others. Same way with here, we've got this one. He's got a floral arrangement, but then it's got like a special head bust on top of it. Same way with this one. It's just a little different, some candles this time. And then here, this one has a picture with a funeral wreath on top. I just was experimenting mostly with different ways of setting up some kind of above ground representation of graves rather than resorting to just purely the headstones that they provided us. So I've just tried different things out. These are Chewa shelves. I think this one is the burnished trunk upside down. And this is part of one of the engine pieces offhand. I don't remember which. Same way with the fencing. I experimented with different ways of corralling things up. So you've got like the pumpkin patch has the actual wooden corral fencing. This one is just a curved Draken wall sunk into the ground to give it that one. And these two enclosures are actually the same pieces, just one is used like you would expect and the other one is upside down. So While this one is, I think it's the rusty fence. This one is too. It just looks different because I've manipulated a little differently. The only thing. I did spot the little puffer mushrooms here and there. This, I had put the crowded graves in the background to kind of make it look like there's a city behind the graveyard, and I ended up having a piece of it kind of showing through. So I just put this together to kind of make it look like I purposely had it showing. So this is just a little gravestone collection here. Behind the pumpkin patch is our little swamp kind of thing, and so we have a swamp monster. I call him Bob. He's not too happy, as you can see. It's basically just a series of excuse me, I think it's the blue mushrooms, and I've just sized them up and kind of give him this little weird little pointy head, and it makes him look like he's got little pustules or something on him. And at first I thought maybe I'd kind of rotate it and kind of offset them a bit, but then I kind of liked the pattern that it had, so I left it just like it was, but you can turn it if you want to do it. And then the tentacled bits is, I think it's just one of those, it's a plant, and I think it's two of them. I've got one kind of leaning this way so that his one arm can be reaching out and the others are just pointing straight up. But I think it's called a tentacle plant, in fact. The water is a sized up glowing space suite just sunk into the ground. The effects, it's two different things going on. We've got the blue flare that does a little occasional poofer from here, and then the sparkly bits that you see is the same thing that I'm using elsewhere. It's the buoyant blue crystal, something like that. And then of course the source of the water is coming from this little drain here. Why it doesn't eventually overflow is anyone's guess, but that's the thing there. And of course, with the overgrown tree, I had to include some eyes. Now these are the blinking eyes from the shop, but these are just the orange windows, the orange ones. They fit better than the blinking ones did, and even though they don't blink, it's still a perfect coloring. But again, you can see that it looks like a pardon me, looks like there's a town on the other side of the fence. Basically, it's just the crowded graves, and then I've used the different windows to kind of populate it, I guess. Got the green haunted window, the circular window, and then this is just the metal divider, I think. I had actually intended on adding more, I just never got around to it. By the time it was time to hold the event, I said, forget it. Pardon me. Again, you can see that the path that I chose was the makeshift bulletin boards for the stones. Getting a little quieter because my throat is really irritated right now. Another event that we had up here was, we actually did two things while we were standing around the bubbling fountain here. One, we just did kind of a zombie apocalypse kind of thing. It was basically, I asked them what their birth date was and what color shirt they were wearing, and then from there we determined who their zombie apocalypse dream team would be. So, you know, I had like a predetermined list of things that they could use, say like, depending on what month of the year they were born, that determined which CRB person would be on their team, that kind of thing. Just a goofy kind of icebreaker kind of a game. The other one involved a play on bobbing for apples. But in this case, we were bobbing for body parts. So you'll see that there's a variety of things here. We've got eyeballs, ears, skulls, intestines, hands, and a heart. And what it was is I had them roll to determine which body part they got, and I would hand out like the wall-mounted Draken ear or the tongue or whatever that coincided with the parts. Then we kind of made our way over to the mausoleum here, and the mausoleum, it's basically just a lot of Draken floors. If I zoom in really close here, for the steps, you'll see that they're actually layered floors. There's like 4 layers to each step. There's the spiked gravestones on either side that's just been turned upside down. A set of 4 pillars for each bit here. I could have just sized it up as one, but I didn't want the toppers to be overly huge, so I just kept them small and then grouped them up into a little 4-pack for each side of here. Again, I added the ivy to kind of give it that overgrown look, tacked on the window here, gave it some Draken bowls or cauldrons for the candle holders, and conveniently, because the walls are so thin, it works for both inside and outside, which is the 2 pieces on each side. Just added a few trees and added the haunted effect there. Just kept it really simple. The doors are basically 2 of the metal grates sunk in, and I tried placing my decor in such a way that it looked like it was just kind of cut off at the bottom and not actually sunk into the wall there. And then when you go inside, there's a little bit of ivy coming in from the outside. There's a casket, cobwebs, a nice little stained glass window, and of course this is where you get access to the crypts below. And basically that's just because of this ring here. It looks like it's part of the candelabra, but it's really not. It's just, I think it's the little wheelie gig handle thing for the hatch house. So then you go inside and you're immediately just kind of brought into this very spacious room. It's a combination of Draken fences, which is what most of the walls was made of, and the shelving here. And then hover part pieces. I think it's the edge piece. I really like that particular piece. I've used it in a combination of many things. And I wanted some kind of arch effect, and rather than using the actual arches that we have, I decided to go with just setting it up like this. It really comes off to a nice effect, I think. You'll notice that there is like some kind of lighting effect in some places, not counting the bright ritual candle circle that has this really super big lighting. What's going on here is I have green lanterns inside the pillars here, and that kind of gives a little spotlight effect, because I didn't want the entire room to be too dark. I wanted them to be able to enjoy what they could see, but not feel like it was, again, that they having to squint. So right off the bat, they're brought over to the banquet table. So I tried to think of all manner of creepy foods. So I've got like a bowl of eyeballs and a steaming pot of something there, and bones and gooey, bubbly stuff and spiky stuff and spider eggs and everything I can think of that would be appropriate for a nice Halloween banquet, or shady banquet, I should say. Even this looks like a weird cupcake or something, but it's actually bulgy. It moves a little bit. The animation isn't real strong, so you really have to sit there and look at it a while to notice it, but it's there. And at the banquet table is where we played a game of tongue twisters. I got some appropriately themed tongue twisters about creepy critters and stuff, and would have them say them over TeamSpeak, and would just award prizes to those that was able to do it without getting too tongue-tied doing it. Over here, just different versions of baskets. Some are overturned, some are open, some are just urns or other kinds of things. The seats are for the costume contest that we had. We would have each one come up one by one and stand in the circle of candles, describe what they were dressed as. Some of them recited little stories, others did some kind of like little theatrical bits, and then we voted on best costume and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just basically, I wanted a crypt feel, with the cobwebs and all of the creepy headstones and even this little altar here. But I wanted to leave it pretty empty and specific about its use. Because like I said, this was really built for a guild event. It's not, if it hadn't been for that, I probably would have filled it with, a great big sarcophagus or something, one built up, pretty special looking and things like that. But as that wasn't the purpose of this room, I built it differently. And lastly, but not leastly, is Frankenstein here. I built him from a combination of obsidian rocks. The shoes are boxes of bolts. His hands and head and neck are all the ruby-eyed thinkers. The eyes I've accented with red lanterns to kind of bring out the rubiness of them, to give them that extra glow. The bolts on his neck are hammers, and the fingers are green pillows. And then I gave him a little lantern to hold to kind of help light him up so that you can really kind of see what's going on. I tried, a variety of configurations on different materials, and this is what I come up with that worked the best for what I was picturing in my head. I did try to give him hair at one point, some black hair, but that didn't quite work out, so I just left him with the green mossy hair. And of course he's got the wall of skulls behind him. I guess maybe it's all his victims or something, I don't know. So that is that. That's Shadestone Cemetery. I will say that it's not going to be here long. Like I said, it was mostly just for a guild event, really not my cup of tea as far as leaving it up forever. So, but I am working on an idea for a plot that I will probably be starting work on within the next week or so. This one will go bye-bye, and I will start working on the new one. Because I'm wanting to get set up a plot in a fashion so that I can adjust it for holidays and things, but the general theme of it can stay the same. So there would just be parts of it that I would change out. So that I don't feel totally forced into completely redoing the plot every time I turn around. And yeah, Sneaky, I think the reason is they're currently under some login maintenance. So if you're not already in the game, then you won't be able to get in at this moment. I believe in about another half hour to an hour, maybe, the realms are just going to completely shut down for about half an hour, I think. But yeah, there's like a series of maintenances going on today, so no panic. It's just a temporary thing. You could probably check the forums and check for updates, or on Twitter. Either place will probably get you some information. But yeah, it just so happens that I was logged in well before the login maintenance kicked in, so I wasn't kicked off or anything. But that is why I'm streaming a little earlier, because normally I don't come on until just about now. So I've been on for a little bit because I wanted to make sure, because I really didn't know how long it was going to take us to get through all the houses we wanted to do for today. And I wanted to be sure and get all those in before they came and closed down the realms. But that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you for some of your own ideas. Even if you're not making a plot for Shades Eve, if you just want kind of a spooky plot, if maybe for instance you're a Draken and you really want that dark, creepy vibe going on, these kind of plots will give you a lot of good ideas on how to use your skulls and your bones and all that.